Hey guys, what's going on? I'm here with Joe Coker. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
For those of you who don't know, Joe came to the big city.
That's right.
I want to give him a brief 20-second situation of why and how.
I came to New York to do stand-up comedy and get funnier, and then also get very good at judo. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, I love that. So Joe's a longtime karateka.
That's right.
Black belt in karate, brown belt in BJJ, green belt in judo.
That's right.
What a really nice mix. Yeah. So Joe's newaza is unbelievable, and you know I'm kind of start liking the newaza aspect of things, so I'm kind of like delving into that. And I was thinking maybe we go over some concepts. I made a video about this, like it's called Low Risk Judo for BJJ Athletes, right? So I'm gonna link that down below. You can buy the whole freaking thing. But today I kind of wanted to give you my tips from that.
Yeah.
Right? So what are some of the ways that you like to play in jiu-jitsu? Like what is your jiu-jitsu game?
Closed guard, half guard, delihiva,
Yeah.
collar sleeve, that kind of
Gotcha. So would you say like throwing me with Tatoshi would be very beneficial to your jiu-jitsu game?
Probably wouldn't connect.
Yeah, probably wouldn't connect, right? Because when you use judo, like Osoto, Taio, Harai, Koshiguruma, generally you land on the outside of the guard, correct?
Correct.
And it takes a very, very long time to achieve some of this stuff,
Yes.
right? Let's just look at an example, right? Let's go Ogoshi, right versus left, Ogoshi, I go here, I throw, boom, land, flip a little bit. Can I use my delihiva guard from here?
Nope.
You have half guard?
Nothing.
Can I do close guard? What about Ashiwaza? Right? Not so useful, right? And the problem with learning, and you know, that's good, right? Because even in jiu-jitsu, you take the person down, you land in that dominant position, right? And you get points for that.
Yes.
But there's problems with learning some of the traditional judo stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I go for a koshiguruma. Bah! Oh no! I can't! And now I'm in this position, right? And, right? I give up my back if I miss. I go for a koshiguruma and I force it, and then I go this way and then really, whoops! Okay, did I just get points for that?
Nope. Sadly,
Back
no.
exposure?
Yes.
I think it's like this in freestyle wrestling, right? Not so good. So the learning curve is an issue too, because it takes a very long time to develop these turn throws. And when you do develop them, they're very beneficial because you use your entire body to throw these things.
Yeah.
Right? Like a sort of guard, right? Dominant position, I'm gonna body with a sword.
Thank you.
Right? My entire body, boom, to take the person down, and now I'm in a great position, right? Dominant position. But it takes a very long time to learn. If I go for a battle soto from like dead even position like this, and you grab my leg, right now I'm fighting a single leg. Okay? So it's generally not something that I want to suggest you start off learning.
That makes sense.
Right? And every judo school you ever walk into as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, it's like, hey, learn Osoto, learn Koshiguruma, right? And of course, this is not like the bad mouth all the judo schools out there, because a judo school teacher is not going to derail his entire curriculum just to teach one jiu-jitsu person in the room.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
I get it, right? Makes sense. So what is the best technique to begin with for jiu-jitsu guys?
Falling, maybe.
Well, that's good.
Die.
Falling's good.
Guard, any kind of guard pulling kind of.
Yeah.
The
So
risk of failure is not going to hurt you.
yeah. So the risk of failure is not going to hurt you. So I'm just going to go ahead and say tomoe.
Yeah.
Tomoe is generally a very, very good way to begin learning that takedown process. Because if you train already at a jiu-jitsu school, then you go for tomoe, you miss, you're in bottom position. It really is no different than pulling guard, right? So the way I like to show tomoe, there's sort of two ways. Regular straight back tomoe, yoga tomoe. I made a ton of videos about this already. But to sort of make it easily accessible, what I'm going to have you do is lead leg right. I'm going to sit down and bring this right foot up, sit, and then take you over as if you're doing a Zempo. Okay, so if you could do a forward roll Zempo this way, right? Right? I'll show you that technique later, what I just did. It's like a red belt. Right, then you can do this technique. I sit, tomoe. Okay, really, really simple. Right, there's a couple different nuances to this. But the most important thing is if I fail at this technique, right, if you just posture upright and sit with me, okay, there's my delihiva hook or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you could train your takedown without actually giving up any bad position. It's like if you're going to pull guard anyway, why not start off with this?
Yeah, it makes
Right?
sense.
And
Yeah.
so that's kind of the thing. And there's a couple different components to this that's kind of important, right? The front off balance, right? I'm going to pull the person forward. I want to sit down, squat, and pull my opponent onto my leg. Okay, that's the key. A lot of the times in Jiu-Jitsu, when you learn tomoe nage, it's with the intent of bringing the match to the ground. So I want to create distance, right? So you see a lot of Jiu-Jitsu guys go up, post, and sit with the intent of bringing the person in and going back down to the ground. Okay? With the intent of throwing, you want to keep the leg bent and pull your opponent onto the leg, right? That's the important distinction. Same thing now we're going to look at Yoko tomoe nage, right? Right versus right. We're going to take one step to the side. One, and then I'm going to take two, and then this foot's going to go to the back hip. Okay? You're going to take similar steps right here.
Oh.
So just go 1, 2, 3. Okay? My opponent's going to take 3 steps. I'm going to take 3 steps as well. I'm going to go 1, 2. There's my time. Okay? And like I said, in Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of the people like to do the same idea. 1, 2, create the long post, and then sit with the intent of just going to the ground to create this distance and barrier, right? But in Judo, when we do this throw, I'm gonna bend my leg and pull my opponent onto this leg here, okay, in order to create elevation. Now the key to this Yoko tomoe nage, I know I put this foot on the far hip, which a lot of people advocate for, but with the intent of throwing, I'm gonna put it on the back hip, okay? Notice what happens here is that when I'm able to elevate this leg, right, I'm able to turn this opponent and tip him over to this base. I already have control and I can roll on the knee. Right? So let's look at this tomoe nage. It's called the Yoko tomoe nage. 1, 2, Yoko tomoe nage. Right, and I roll underneath, and now I'm in great position. If I miss this Yoko tomoe nage, right into the waza here. Okay? And then you go to your situation, tripod, X, Y, Z. Right? So now, shameless plug for my Judo Fanatics, BJJ Fanatics video series. Opponent knows this too, right? And they're gonna pull guard, back, forth, similar idea. What you wanna be able to do is fake the back tomoe nage, simple leg pick here, right? Fake the Yoko tomoe nage, go ushiro, back tomoe nage, straight back. Kouchi, leg pick, circle, right? Joe wants to pull guard, catch the foot, simple leg pick going downward, leg pick, tomoe nage, ochi kochi, tomoe nage, fake tomoe nage, go ochi, snap down. Okay, that's the sort of the entire series that I advocate for Jiu-Jitsu guys, right? Here, I fake tomoe nage, kochi, circle, snap down. Fake Yoko tomoe nage, ochi. Fake tomoe nage, leg pick. There's my Yoko tomoe nage. Right?
That's nice.
So the whole time, keeping my opponent in front of me. If I fail a leg pick, that's okay. I'm faking. If I fail the tomoe nage, we go straight to the ground. I'm gonna fail. Ah! Okay. Right? Looks familiar?
Yeah.
So that's sort of my simple suggestion on how to sort of bridge the gap between Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. There's going to be a whole series on it eventually. I already have a video, but we're not.
That makes sense.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. When you're, how do you make sure you catch this hip? Because it feels like if you miss, you're gonna get your guard pass. When you're doing that, the Yoko tomoe nage.
Yeah, I go for this hip.
Oh, sorry. That's what I mean. It's just a practice of just catching the hip correctly.
Yeah, I usually try to get my toes in the middle of the belt here.
Right.
And then, yes, if you miss that, you get your guard pass. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. So the timing kind of has to be really good. Yeah. That's why a lot of people opt to put the foot in the front.
But this never leads to the throw, though.
Rarely ever leads to the throw.
Yeah, so you might.
And I did that for years, thinking that that's what you're supposed to do, because I've been taught. Put it at the front hip, because that's the closest. But when you go for the back hip, it's very, very difficult to rotate my legs over and then step around it.
That makes sense, because you're keeping me bladed.
Yes, exactly.
That makes sense.
Right, that's the most common problem when you go for Yoko tomoe nage, for the person to take a step around this way. Right, so if you take a step this way, you see this all the time.
Yeah.
And then if you can keep this sticky, some people can elevate with it, but it's just never a good way. So you want to off balance this way and catch that hip in the back. Really hard to step around.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're controlling the shoulder.
Yeah. So low risk judo for BJJ. I'm gonna do an entire teachable series with Brian Glick. He's my jiu-jitsu guy. So it's kind of like a little bit of a feeler slash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.